Well, I just want to say congrats to Portland. I think they do an unbelievable job. They have just had our number a little bit this year and a little bit last year. It's kind of the same script every game, just the third quarter, they amp it up a little bit on the pressing side of it, and our ball handling and decision making really let us down in the start of the second half. Thought we handled it so well in the first half, thought we were so prepared, I thought we had advantages to get the ball and break their press and kind of make them pay for being so aggressive. And we just couldn't quite make the plays that we needed to not let that separation happen. But congrats to them. They're obviously a team that I think is really well built, and obviously they can have a lot of success in this tournament.
Just a reminder for those on Zoom, just use the raise hand function and we will call on you. We'll go ahead and start with questions for student athletes.
Hi, ladies. For Shasha, your shot kind of fell in the previous game. How did your confidence kind of carry over into the first half of this contest today?
I think my confidence comes from practices and knowing that I can make shot, and even if I miss one shot, I will keep shooting because that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm practicing for every day. So I just try to keep my confidence and shoot the shot that are open and that I should take.
Ellie, Jeff Ferrado with the West Coast Conference. It was a 33-point game at halftime. I'm wondering, do you think you guys got fatigued with the third game in 3 days, or what about their press suddenly started to affect you guys?
Well, I would say that it was kind of both. Like after 3 games in a row, you feel the fatigue. But I think that Portland does a good job in pressing and be aggressive. So I think that at some point we should have taken care of the ball better, and we didn't. But yeah, I would say that it was also the fatigue, and yeah.
For either of you, obviously a season that had its ups and downs, but do you take some solace in the fact you finished on a 4-game winning streak up until today? You kind of made those strides late in the season. Is that maybe what you'll look back on in the season, or is it a mixture of that and kind of figuring out a way to get that 4-game winning streak and get going earlier? So we're sitting here talking about 18, 19 wins and not 9.
Can you say it again? Sorry.
You guys obviously ended the season on a 4-game winning streak up until today. Is that something you take some solace in or some pride in the sense of balancing that with the fact that it was an up and down season leading up until that?
Yeah, Coach said it in the locker room. Like I feel that everyone wanna remember the feeling of having a season like this to not like doing it again. But I think that having like a streak of 4 games winning in a row, it's a good feeling, and we wanna have that like next season, and we are gonna come like stronger from this season and just build a new team and just improve and get better.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, student athletes, you're free to go. Thank you. Yeah. Question for the head coach.
Coach, obviously, in today's day and age of college basketball, the season ends, but it doesn't really end. You obviously move on to the next stage of coaching. When you kind of look at this nucleus, you only graduate 2 players. I mean, how much is there a confidence on what you're going to be able to bring back, and then what this team can do if you can bring everybody back?
Zero confidence. I've liked this team so much, and obviously have really great relationships with our players and work really hard to gain their trust and to build trust and to have a situation where we can talk out their situations and do that all year long. So, but I think every player's in a different spot, and it's very important that we retain the core group. I hope everybody. But in this day and age, I never know what's going to happen, and I never know what's happening right now that I don't know about. I feel like there are many people talking to players illegally and doing some things, and so I don't think I know the fullness of that, but I know it's out there, and so. But again, I got to trust that we're doing the right things. We have a great culture. I think these players love playing for one another and playing at Washington State. We got to add some pieces to a really good core group, a good young core group. And I think we've done that with 2 players we've signed, and we are just getting started with that. So we'll add some, I think, bigger and better pieces that can really complement this group that we have right now.
9 wins, obviously. I know not what you're aiming for at the start of the season, but I think one thing that stands out, especially in a game like today, is final minutes, games kind of decided. The team obviously is still bought in. They're still playing hard. They're still celebrating their teammates. You talked all season about how much this team loves playing with one another. Is that kind of, almost just drive home that point even further, even on a game where you can kind of sense that it's going to be the end of the season and you still see, everyone you have on the floor is still playing with everything they have left?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have really competitive players and they really want to win. We just don't probably have just a dog mentality. We don't have that loud, I always go back to Crystal Ledger Walker, even more before than Charlize. I mean, or even Ula, who wasn't a perfect leader, but she was loud and could get people in the right places. I mean, just that demanding personality. And we don't quite have that. We're really nice players. We're really nice people, and they love being around each other. And they're very comforting to one another when things go bad. And sometimes you just need someone that's not so comforting, and just continuing to raise that standard. And some of that's personality. I don't want LA to feel like she has to be that. That's not, but she provides everything we need from her. We've got to surround her with a little bit more support, and and I think we can do that. It's just, but it has been amazing. This group has played hard. This group has bought in. I think we have a group that really, a lot of players can get a lot better. We clearly need to continue to get better shooting. I thought shot making tonight they made shots, they made us pay. We had open shots and we didn't make them. And that was kind of the story of our year, where we would have a bad quarter, and it just separated us from being able to win a game. So we got to get more weapons that can make sure that we are more consistent in the future.
Kamie, on one hand, you get 15 offensive rebounds, but only gets to 11 second chance points. Just what was the challenge in converting those opportunities?
We kind of have a rule in our gym from Jim Foster, where it's either a layup or it's a 3. And so when people take like 8-foot shots off an offensive rebound, those weird ones, they don't get fouled, they don't make it. To us, that's almost like a turnover. And we did that. We took some, yes, we should be able to make bunnies, but if you're going to take that shot, you better get fouled and you better make it. And then we turned it over. We got some offensive rebounds and didn't handle ourselves getting the ball out and getting a better shot. So that's been a little bit of our thing this year. Just haven't converted in key moments and our ability to make those plays. I think the other thing that just crushed us was Trans D. We'd score a basket and they would run it up our throats and we wouldn't match up. And it's been something that's been a struggle all year too. I thought we had a lot of that figured out in the last couple of games, but Portland plays at a great pace, and they made us pay with Trans D and getting some easy baskets from us.
With me now is Associate Head Coach Laurie Koehn as the Cougars fall to the Portland Pilots here this afternoon. And Laurie, a tough one here in the second half when it came to turnovers. We knew what Portland was bringing to the table, and I thought we did a relatively good job in the first half, but there was, I think, a 2-minute stretch where they went on a 12-0 run where we had 3 or 4 turnovers during that stretch, and just too many of those in the second half for us, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, and we know that's kind of what Portland does, is they always ramp up the pressure in the third quarter a little bit. I think that happened to us our last game against them in Beasley as well. Thought we were in a really good spot at halftime with, I think, only 6 turnovers at the time, and more assists than turnovers, and that's what you got to do to be in the game with this team. And I thought a good chunk of those turnovers that we had when they were making that run were very unforced, and just, again, I know we keep saying it, but young players that are too sped up and think that they've got to make a play, a lot faster than they need to. So, that's just something we've really got to grow in that area, and we got to get a lot better.
Meanwhile, as far as this Portland team, not only can they kind of wear you down mentally, and that's probably the biggest part, isn't it? I mean, I know we had a little bit of physical fatigue because this is our third straight game in 3 straight days, and that doesn't help. But they also give you that mental fatigue, too. And when they get the turnovers, just the way that they attack, it results in easy points for them on the other end, too.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and that's you don't want to put yourself in a spot where you need to play 2 games 2 days prior to playing a team like Portland.
Right.
And, that's just something this team, I think, will really take into next year and understand. We had a lot of players that were doing this for the first time. Obviously, it'll be a different conference next year, but same situation. If you want a chance to win your conference tournament and to advance, to a semifinal or quarterfinal or final in your conference tournament, then you need to be really consistent during the regular season and put together, a much better resume as the season progresses.
Meanwhile, for the Cougars to pick up 4 wins at the end of the season, 2 in the regular season, 2 in the postseason, just kind of seeing them come together here at the end. Just your thoughts as we do springboard into next season of the way we kind of came together and could see the promise of this team for 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that I hope our players look at, with our last couple weeks and just go, okay, like, there's a glimmer of hope. There's something that's going to encourage us a little bit going into the off season to say, let's get hungry. And these kids are hungry. They want to be great. They're going to take this really, really hard. I think they've taken this whole season really, really hard. They want to be good. But I think it's pretty black and white. These are the areas we got to get better. And I think it is really good just to see them have a little bit of success down the stretch, and now we just got to really build on it.
Last few quick hitters before I let you go. Again, with this team, so much youth, so much as far as coming back. Again, we saw some inconsistencies throughout the season for sure, but Key, I think, came alive here towards the end of the tournament. Didn't have as good of a game today as she did the prior 2 games. Malia Rude was shot from her freshman season. Really all of these new players, because outside of LA and Alex, and obviously Alex was hampered a little bit by injuries this season, so much growth that we can see from these players now that they've been in your system as well.
I mean, I really think that we've seen that in the last 5 games. You look at today's box, and I mean, I'm sorry for Lauren and I'm sorry for Beanie that this is kind of the end of the road for them, but I also look at today's box and I just go, we've got everybody coming back in a million ways, we've got it. We've laid a foundation. I think we can build on it. And like you said, freshmen that are just going to be, we see that all the time where freshmen take big steps in the off season between their freshman and sophomore year. And we've got to be so intentional about doing that. We got to find ways to, make Tanya someone that is a threat on the offensive end. I think she's got the ability. It's just the game has been too fast for her, and she's been she had to learn this position, then that position, then this person's hurt. She needs to, and so we've had that, a little bit of just, a real rocky run at that for some of our young players, but I think we have a clear picture about where we need to go and where we need to be better, and I don't know. I mean, I'm very optimistic. I look at the future and go, we can get there. It's going to take a lot of work in the off season, but I think this team can come back and be a very different team a year from now.
You mentioned the seniors. We obviously talked with Kamie about them a week ago. We honored them a week ago in Pullman, but just your final thoughts on Lauren Glazier and Jean Chu, and just not only the players that they are, but the people that they are.
Yeah, I mean, I think this year's team is going to. I think they've formed lifelong relationships, and that's a really cool thing to see. Obviously, very different stories. Beanie going through an entire first year really not understanding a thing that was going on around her because she was just trying to learn English at the time. And then Lauren, obviously, with her story of being here, winning a Pac-12 championship, leaving, coming back. Just 2 kids that'll be Cougs forever, and we're just really grateful for everything that they gave our program, and obviously just big givers and great teammates on and off the court.
Then I guess last thing, Eleonora Villa, just the way that she played for you this year. I know it was somewhat of a, I don't want to say meaningless shot, but that 3-pointer at the end actually etched her name into the top 10 list on the scoring list. She was 1 point shy before that 3. Now is a top 10 scorer career-wise at Washington State after just her junior season.
I mean, what she's done this year has just been I mean, it's been, she's had to carry this team. She has got not just the best defender from other teams, but sometimes the best two defenders from other teams. And then you still look down at a box score and you see her having today 16 points, 4 assists, and 1 turnover. That is an insane line. And, you know, just can't say enough about what that kid's done for our program. And, you know, she's battled every single day and done it with a smile on her face. So really proud of her.
Now off to the new Pac-12 next season.
That's right.
All right, Coach. As always, thanks for the time. I know the wins didn't quite amount to as many as you wanted, but I still had a great time calling you guys. And you take notice that a lot of people noticed the job that you guys did this season with such a young team. This team's gotten along better. You guys did a great job this season.
Thanks so much, Steve. We appreciate it.